is Atif and Sadia with the Lockdown in Pakistan show. I think there has been a certain glitch on the start of the show. So let us just replay the jingle before we formally start it. Okay, I think we will get better in the next show in terms of the technology. This is VR. We were part of Milton Keynes for some good years, where we regularly contributed to the Ramadan FM, and actually we really look forward to every year to be part of this great effort by the community. For the last 2 years, we have moved back to Pakistan. Um, and I think this show is all about uh, the life in Pakistan, but most primarily it is about how the lockdown is going in Pakistan for the last 1 year or for over 1 year, how the life has been, how the life has been affected due to COVID-19. And we will share our stories and experiences of how it has been for us as a family in Pakistan. Sadia, do you want to start off?
Yes, sure. The purpose of this show is to just keep you entertained and to inform you that how much differences there. The lockdown has made the lives very, very, of course, difficult, and at the same time, it has made the life very interesting for some people as well. So most of the people are thinking that they are like locked up in a house and they are going through certain depression, and of course I know personally many people, but sorry, I've just been distracted. There's been this caller who is trying to call us in, and I can give her. Can I send her the number to call? Isn't it? And then we can pick it up. So can you please send her the number, and then we'll carry it on. Yes. So many people are getting a lot of motivations as well. Some people are taking this time to lose weight, while some people are trying to read books. I know this brother in Lahore who has learned the whole Quran by heart, and that was really very amazing for me. And I am trying to study the translation of Islam, but of course, with the 4 kids at home and homeschooling, it is taking a lot of time. But inshallah, I'm gonna be there. Me and Atif are gonna be there, but let's see that how things are gonna go. So it really depends. The depression, it's not outwards, it's inwards. So whatever you feel, it's going to attract. So yes, we are locked up in a house, and yes, there are restrictions on our lives, but we can take it as a time which has been given to us to collect the medals from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The medals can be the medals of the good deed, the medals of to study more, to learn more about Quran, and to be a better version of a human being or a Muslim. So are we getting a call now, or has she managed to call in? Okay, so yeah, so let's start the program by telling you that of course the things are being opening up in UK, and things are getting better. And I've seen so many friends shopping, and they sent me the videos, and they were so excited to go and shop out. And of course, ladies, we all love shopping, isn't it? So they just share their shopping with me, and but the other things are still closed. And but here in Pakistan, we are in a proper lockdown, and most of the things are closed, and the schools are closed, and we are not going outside, and we are taking a lot of precautions because there is the third wave. The third wave has literally affected very badly. Would you like to tell something about the third wave? He's saying she's calling.
Yes, I think basically where it all started a year ago. Uh, uh, so where it all started a year ago when we first find out that Corona has started to spread outside China. I think that was quite interesting times because at that time in Pakistan, we were quite complacent about it. We were not worrying about it. It was a confined problem for some other country, not for us. But I think it started, I think, around in April last year, when the pilgrims started to come back from Iran and Saudi Arabia. That basically started to create the, the first cases of corona in Pakistan. And I think it was started in Karachi first, and then started to spread out in the other cities of Pakistan. And I still remember that during the Ramadan time, we were in lockdown position, and it was a strict lockdown, which was you're not allowed to go it's emergency. Even if you are going out with two people in a car, you will be stopped, and you have to provide the justification that you are going out with two people in a car. It was quite early days, and I think even in those days, the news from the other parts of the world was quite worrying. But the figures that we were seeing in Pakistan that were not growing exponentially as in other parts of the world, and I think that is something that created uh, uh, a sense of complacency that yes, this is a problem that is happening in the other parts, but it might not affect us at this point in time. Can you check if you're on air? Because I
No,
think
she said that she's going to call me here, and then we're
no, I think we are offline. सारा कुछ फिर ये end हो गया.
तो अपने मोबाइल से भी कनेक्ट कर सकते हो उसको.
Hmm?
हाँ रिदा अभी ऑनलाइन नहीं है. जस्ट गिव मी 1 मिनट. ओके. हेलो. हेलो.
मोबाइल डेटा तो वैसे ही
Can you
उसकी वजह से ना ज़्यादा.
okay, just give me 1 minute.
You need to check whether we are online or not.
Just give me 1 second.
We are just back online, but I'm not sure whether we are online. So, Sadia, can you just double check?
Well, on Facebook and on YouTube, we are, I think, 2 or 3 minutes behind. So I cannot tell you. So the situation here in Pakistan is a bit difficult nowadays, since there is a clash between Tehreek-e-Labbaik and government, and government has turned off all the 4G. So there's a lot of internet issues here in Pakistan at the moment. So this is the thing we are facing right now. Otherwise, everything's fine. So here is the caller with us who is going to tell us her story, that how she has coped with all the tension and stress she has been through, and she has to face a lot of things under the COVID, as we were talking about, that there are certain people who the COVID has literally got them. So I think she's one of them. So let's take her call. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes,
So, how are you and how is your health nowadays?
I'm doing fine.
That's good. And first of all, let us more about you. Introduce yourself. Tell us who you are and what do you do, and are you a student, or tell us something about yourself, please.
I'm a student
And what you're doing, what you are studying.
majoring in psychology.
Oh, that's really very nice. So you are a student of a psychology. So you understand depression more than anybody else, like people like us who haven't studied the psychology. So is that right?
Yes, but everybody has a different way of perceiving that passion.
That's absolutely right. So how would you how you have coped with your depression, and how the COVID has affected your life.
COVID has affected my life a lot, like in a negative sense and also in a positive sense. It brought us closer. It brought me close with my family members.
Mm-hmm.
Like I never used to share things with my mother or my sisters, but this COVID made me do this. We shared things together and we used to talk, which was a positive outcome of COVID. But most importantly, there were so many negative outcomes of this situation.
Yes, yes, absolutely. That's right. So I'm really very glad that out of all this situation where you lost your grandmother, your father, and your mother, they both had COVID. And there was this one point when you all were like sort of locked up in your rooms because you were
Mm-hmm.
under the quarantine, isn't it? Because you all were COVID affected, COVID positive. So that's really very good that you think that there is something positive out of it, that you and your sisters and your mother, you came to this bond, you have found this bond among you, and you're more closer to
Mm-hmm.
each other. That's really very 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 good. So Rida Fatma, do you want to say anything else about the COVID, and do you want to send any message to your listeners?
I have to say that we should communicate with each other. Communication is the best thing. We are suffering like COVID. It has also
Yes, absolutely right. I agree.
it has made me very conscious. Like I wasn't this conscious before this pandemic, but I mean, these this virus has made me more conscious about diseases, and I also faced OCD. I battled OCD during this COVID-19. I
Yes.
seek counseling, online counseling during the time period when all of us were COVID positive, and I was just so scared of this virus thing. I was literally having hallucinations, and I don't know how to describe. I was facing OCD.
Yes, yes, this, of course, especially when the,
I used to wash myself 50 times a day with hot water.
my, yes, yes, I can understand that. Yeah. Yeah, this is they those were the tough times. So are you still in that in there, or have you came out of it, or what do you think about it now?
No, it gets better at times, but then it comes again uh, when I see someone who is COVID positive, then I start feeling that way again.
Yeah. So, for the listeners who are listening to us, I just want to share a quick story of Rida Fatma. During the pandemic, she lost her grandmother. She was so close to her, and she was sharing everything. She was the first person she would go and tell her mind off, and she would just went off anything, whatever she had. She would open up her chest to her, and so that was, she was really very close person to her. And then her father got really very sick, and there was this point when he was in ICU as well, and then he recovered, and then her mother got really very sick, then she herself, then her two other sisters. So that was a very difficult time for her. So this is what she's saying, that that was a time when she was facing a lot of trouble, and she thought she was kind of finding herself bit of an OCD, and she was washing herself a lot. And yes, that is true. So tell me, Rida Fatma, that what do you think that after the vaccination, do you think that things are gonna go better? What are your thoughts about it?
I don't know about that. I'm not getting vaccinated because I'm worried about the side effects. I don't know what the outcome will be, or
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you have doubts.
so
So
I'm not sure. Yes,
you're not sure. Okay, so
I
but
don't think that it's safe at this point.
Okay, okay, all right. Okay, so Rida Fatma, do you have anything else to say?
Um, Actually, I was traumatized at that time. I could not focus on anything. I was
Mm-hmm.
just battling with depression and OCD. I used to watch myself 50 times a day, and I was having negative thoughts throughout the day. That was just horrible.
Mm, yes, definitely.
With
That it
time, it
sounds
gets
horrible.
better when you communicate with each other. A
Yeah.
family member, it helps a lot. Your mother
Yes.
or sisters talk to each
Yes.
other. It really helps a lot.
Yes, it does. Definitely. It does. It does. Definitely. So thank you so very much, Rida Fatma. It is lovely. It was lovely having you on the show, and I hope would have you on our other shows as well. And you can hear us live on Facebook and also on YouTube. And thank you so much for joining us and sharing your experience with us. Thank you. Allah Hafiz. So that was Rida Fatma. She was a young girl, teenager who had to face the COVID here in Lahore, and so you hear that here in Pakistan. This was the purpose of sharing her story was to tell you that many people think that people are having party in Pakistan and they were not taking care of themselves, but it was absolutely wrong. There were so many people who had been affected, and they were being very precautious about this, very cautious about this. Sorry. So Rida Fatma belonged to a family who were like taking a lot of care, and since the COVID arrived, they were like they knew that it's a disease, and as she told you earlier that it has made her more aware about the diseases around the world. And we yes, before corona, yes, we were like not washing our hands as much as we should, or we were not taking a lot of care of regarding our hygiene. But now we are doing more towards our hygiene, and now we are doing more of our hand washes and using a lot of mask and the sanitizing a lot of stuff, especially our hands. So yes, that was necessary, and it has made us more aware about these diseases. So this was Lahore in the first wave. This was, we were talking about the first wave here. That was the first wave for them, where she lost her grandmother and the whole house were in quarantine, and they faced a very, very difficult time. Regarding the medication during the pandemic, it was it there was this, there were certain times when we were facing a lot of shortage about the regarding the medication, but then they were coming back on the shelves as well. But yes, there were times when, of course, I must say that when it attacked us, we were facing a lot of problems regarding the medication. But then alhamdulillah, we started to make our own medication here in Pakistan, and it helped us a lot. So, Atif, do you have anything else to include?
Sorry, we just keep getting interrupted because there has been some issues in terms of the internet here in Pakistan at the moment. So I can't even tether with my phone. I need to use the broadband, which is not being reliable today. So apologies for coming in and out. I think I just wanted to reflect on the first wave and the second wave. I think in Pakistan, where I was leading towards that last Ramadan when we were in a complete lockdown, I think the numbers were getting better compared to the rest of the world. I would say they, and I think at that time the government decided that as a country it will be difficult for us to afford a complete lockdown because the businesses were shut and everything, and it was quite difficult time for uh, people like me as well because we are a small and medium-sized enterprises, and we were struggling to keep the employees. There was no government help and all that kind of stuff. And I think when Sadia said shortage of medicine, I think it was less of a shortage of medicine and more of not understanding which medicine will work, because nowhere in the world there was a very definitive understanding that what is the right medicine for this type of virus. But I think there are a couple of things that I would like to mention, that what happened and what really helped the society, and how did everyone come together. Because during the Ramadan, obviously everyone is focused on paying the zakah and sadaqah and all that kind of stuff. I think that really turned around in terms of the way people came out and started to give the rations to the needy, the medicines to the needy, the clothes. And I think it was fantastic to just see that despite there was no government support, how the whole community came together. And I think it came to a point where some of the people started to turn around, that they want to take the ration and stuff, because they already have got a lot. So I think that was one of the most beautiful aspect, that how one of the calamity turn around the society and supported
Assalamualaikum. Jad ibn Khalid al-Zuhani said, the Messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, whoever breaks the fasting person's fast, he gets the reward of it, whilst not diminishing at all the reward of the fasting person. Tirmidhi. Jazakallah.
One of the consequences of making this life your primary concern is that the Prophet ﷺ says something very interesting. He says, جَعَلَ الْفَقْرُ بَيْنَ عَيْنَيْهِ, that poverty is put between their eyes. Poverty is put between their eyes. What does that mean? Well, I want you guys to imagine if I had something hanging between my eyes just now, and I look forward, what do I see? That thing that's hanging there, right? If I have a stone hanging there, I'm going to see it. If I look to the right, what do I see? I see the stone. If I look to the left, what do I see? I see the stone. If I look up, if I look down, everywhere I look, I just see that thing that's stuck between my eyes. And that's what happens to a people who make this life their primary concern. No matter what they have, they always feel poor. Do you understand? That's deep. No matter how much they have, no matter what happens, no matter what they're given, they always feel like they don't have enough. Feed your soul while your body fast. 87.9
Ramadan Mubarak from Caprino's Pizza. After a long day of fasting, order our delicious pizzas, sides, cookies, and much more to break your fast. During this Ramadan, we are offering 15% off if you order online, as well as free delivery, plus special offers if you collect. You can order from Just Eat, Deliveroo, Uber Eats, and our website, caprinospizza.co.uk. For more details, contact 01908 675 947 or visit North 10th Street, Lloyd's Court, Milton Keynes City Centre, MK9 3EL.
German Doner Kebab wishes you Ramadan Kareem. Enjoy your doner after dusk with us and choose from the original Doner Kebab, the K-Cal, the Doner Crunch Burger, or perhaps the Boss Box and so much more. You can find your nearest GDK at GermanDonerKebab.com or bring the Ramadan experience to your doorstep by signing up for your Ramadan pack at RamadanTentProject.com. German Doner Kebab. Kebabs done right.
Ramadan Mubarak from Adam Accounting Services.
Ramadan Mubarak. Need help with your accounts and tax work?
Contact us today on 01908 692 380 and see how we can help.
Adam Accounting Services. Friendly local accountants. Call us today on 01908 692 380.
come and visit us at Al Ansar and find fantastic deals on food and drink. At Al Ansar, we specialize in Asian groceries and HMC halal meat. We stock products from all over the world and have everything you need this Ramadan, from big packs of rice, flour, and oil to dates, treats, and snacks. You can find us at 153 Queens Way in Bletchley or call us on 01908 411 334.
Join Faisal and Kunza every Saturday.
We will be talking about holy places, holy books, holy nights, and holy money.
We'll also be interviewing sheikhs and nasheed artists and busting myths about Islam.
Faisal and Kunza.
Every Saturday from 7 p.m. until iftar.
Have you ever thought about how Muslims from other parts of the world practice their faith? How their experience of being a Muslim might be similar or different than yours? If so, join me every Thursday during Ramadan from 3 to 4 p.m. for my show, Muslim Stories from Around the World, where I sit down with a Muslim from a different part of the world in each episode and just talk to them about their life and their experience. That's Muslim Stories from Around the World, every Thursday from 3 to 4 p.m. with your host, Harun.
Ji, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back. Sorry, the adverts started and I was not aware of it, so I got interrupted in the middle of it. And again, the first show is always where you just play around with the tech. So hopefully next time it will be much smoother. So I was just talking about how the society came together in terms of supporting each other, in terms of either money, in terms of either emotional support, or anything that you can think of. And I think that is the beauty, that how hard times brings the best out of us. I think one of the other thing that is worth mentioning, that during the initial lockdown period, a lot of our friends basically shared videos of Sainsbury's and the Morrisons and the Tesco's that we used to go for shopping, and they were all empty. The shelves were all empty and all that kind of stuff. And there was a lot of panic buying at that point, and that was quite worrying, because when we look at how things were in Pakistan, I think it was completely opposite. The shelves were up to the ceiling, and there was no shortage. There was nothing, and thankfully the people trusted each other. And I didn't. I mean, do you know anyone who ended up doing the panic buying? Because everyone was just very relaxed about the foods and what they can buy.
No, you are absolutely right. And Pakistani nation, they appeared as a very generous nation during these times. And I remember, they were on the famous roads. The laborers who would come and sit there on every day in the morning, like they go out for work, and people would be, because there are so many people whom's businesses they stopped. So laborers were one of them. They couldn't go out and earn because because of the lockdown, they were unable to do any labor work. So people, they would go and give them loads of money, like the serious amount of money that they could survive for weeks. And that was really very hard filling to see. And the people they made the groups, and the numbers were being published all over the places. The posters were there on the walls everywhere, in the markets, wherever the markets for the poor people. And they can just call those numbers, and these people were arranging the ration. These people were arranging the donations for these people. So this is the upside which we saw. But there is another thing which happened at the same time. There are few people, very, very few people. Now, I won't say that everybody did that, but there were few people. They they turned around. And instead of now, after every, well, we are in the third wave, we are still in the lockdown. But after, when the lockdown eased off, they did not go back to the work, because they were so used to getting the money for doing nothing, and they would just still go and sit on those pavements, and people would come and give them the money. So that has become the ritual. I don't know for how long it's gonna go, and how and when it's gonna stop. But this is a very upside of the COVID here in Pakistan, that people came up together, and they literally they were like making the groups, and they were helping the people. The donations were coming in. So it was heartwarming to see my nation doing a lot of things for the poor people.
Yeah, I think, I mean, they say that every calamity is to be overcome by endurance. I would say that every calamity is to be overcome by coming together, because, that's the biggest difference between Pakistan and UK, because the UK government stepped in and helped the businesses and helped the contractors and self-employed personnel. But in Pakistan, the support, such support was not there. And I think that is the biggest difference, that if the government cannot step in, then the people who have the blessings of Allah and all that kind of stuff, they came together to support the society. And I think the third thing I would like to mention, that COVID-19 has actually changed the society, because I'm more of an optimistic. I would say that Allah has brought this down for a reason, and we as Muslims can only stay positive and try to fight it, but at the same time trying to see how can we make things better. And I think the third thing I would say, which is phenomenal in my view, is how people um, resorted to e-commerce in Pakistan, and the speed with which that adoption has taken place. It's amazing. Um, uh, I remember that I placed my first online grocery order on the 3rd of March last year, and that arrived with a lot of SOPs in terms of the packaging, in terms of the driver delivering with the mask and the gloves, and all the food was then disinfected before it came inside the house, and all that kind of stuff. And I found it very fascinating that how quickly they have adapted to this new ways of working, and how quickly it is changing things. And I think it goes to other parts of the businesses as well. And Eid was just around the corner, and we being celebrating the Eid in a very different way in Pakistan compared to UK. Believe me, in UK, I was very happy to celebrate the Eid in the big Camel Park. There was not a lot of stress to have the most expensive clothes. The stress was more about that we need to come together as a community, and we need to celebrate, do a barbecue, and bring everyone here. And Pakistan, it was all about we want to go for this brand to get the most expensive suit, because we want to look superior to others as well. So e-commerce came in and rescued the day, and all the big brands started to do their online free deliveries, and that created a big boost for the businesses, because businesses being closed for about 45 days, it was already creating a big dent in the economy. And it's quite funny that we have these stereotypes, because the first wave was all about that this coronavirus is for the rich, because as poor people we have a very strong immunity, we have everything, so why bother? And it's all the people who drink the mineral water they are at the risk of this coronavirus.
Yes, yes. They were saying that the people who are more hygienic, well, I don't know. Maybe they're right at saying this, but they're wrong. Say talking about the COVID. They said that the people who are more hygienic, they get diseases more easily compared to people who are living on the streets and drinking water from everywhere. So kids are playing in the mud. So we grew up playing out on the streets and playing in the mud and coming back home when our mothers would be like screaming at us and yelling at us, well, what you have done to your clothes and all that. But now we are more careful, maybe more aware towards the germs, and we don't let them do things where we think that they are like go and play in the germs. But it's not about the dirt. I hope you would get my point. What I'm trying to say, that we would just drink share the water bottle with our friends, but now we won't let our kids to do that. So, these were the things which were in their mind, and from their perspective, they started to say that this COVID is for rich people, and it is affecting those who are living a very posh lifestyle, and it is not for us. This is what they were saying, and to be honest, in first wave, they were all saved. Not that that help in house bracket was somehow got saved in the first wave, and nothing happened to them. But the people who are like more how to put in, the people who are like more educated or more aware or working class, they or the upper class or the upper medium class, they got affected, and there were a lot of sad news from those families as well. But the help in house class, the bracket, they were saved at that time. So that was really very astonishing, and they were mingling, and it was a time for them to party, and they were having so much fun at that time. I remember that I had a house help at that time, and we have a servant quarter here, and she was living in the quarter there, and it's quite different here in Pakistan. The culture is very different. So they were living here on the we have given them the back terrace, so they were living there, and one day I heard a lot of footsteps upstairs, and I was just like so shocked, and I went to check upstairs, and there were like 20 to 30 people upstairs, and I was like just shocked to see them. And then I had to request them to leave because they would not listen to us, and they would just keep coming to our house having party, and they would say that she's our older sister, and so we have to come see her. Schools were closed and all that. So yes, this what happened, but the twist happened on the third wave when they got hit. So in this wave, the house held bracket got hit, and they were all got affected by the COVID-19. And this is from where we all are getting the COVID now, because every house, the houses are different here. They are the bigger houses as compared to UK, and the dust is more here. The sandy wind can literally make your house so dusty. So you need help to clean the house. So now even me and Atif got COVID last month, and not last month, like a couple of weeks ago. And Alhamdulillah, we have recovered, and we are now COVID negative. So we are now doing a show with you guys. But yes, now this bracket is being affected, and they are now creating a lot of problem, and Lahore is being affected a lot because of these people.
Yes, you're right, Sadia. Let me just come back to wave one in the beginning of Corona, because I just want to say that the thing that was astonishing was that although we thought that the people are going to be more sensible, they're going to be more precautious when the lockdown will ease up, and in the run up to the first Eid, the Eid al-Adha, Eid al-Fitr, 3 days before that, the government announced that they're going to open the businesses so people can shop and do the e-shopping.
Oh
and
yes, I remember that time.
there will be some business activity, and it was shocking to see that how the people I don't want to be biased, gender biased here, but how the women and the girls were lining up outside the stores without any fear of corona, without any social distancing, just to buy the Eid suit. And that was shocking to see, because there was a lot of debate about the government saying that the blue collar people are not taking care. They are mingling in the on the roads. They are mingling in the businesses. They are mingling in the markets, and we need to educate them. We need to tell them that how difficult it is. They need to be very careful. But what about those people who were educated? What about those people who didn't need to do this? I mean, if you don't get a new Eid suit, that's not the end of the world, because considering the circumstances, it's one of the biggest threat to the human life at this point in time, or maybe I'm exaggerating it, but it has
No, no,
claimed a
you
lot of
are.
lives in the world.
No, no, you're not exaggerating at all. Like, let's see the UK situation now after the lockdown when the businesses have opened. Didn't you see that how people are lined up in front of the malls to just to get in? My friend just sent me the pictures from the Oxford Street, and the people are just, it was the same. So I think it's the human mentality that you're just locked up for so long that you just want to come out and shop. So shopping is the thing which we really love, isn't it?
Yes, I think so. So basically, the panacea to this COVID-19 is not in the vaccine. It should be something related to a shopping. So people would get their
Energy.
energy back, as well as they would be very satisfied that, instead of getting the vaccine, they have bought this thing and they will be cured or will be protected, compared to someone who is not vaccinated in a safe way. So, but anyway, it was, I think, just we are coming close to the end of the show for today. Uh, I think it was more about the first lockdown, if I like to summarize. I think the biggest difference between UK and Pakistan was uh, the way it affected the society in UK. Alhamdulillah, it didn't do that much damage to Pakistan if you try to take the proportion in terms of the population and the number of cases or the deaths, or whatever you can see. I think the second thing was UK, the government stepped in, and everything else happened as well. But in Pakistan, the people stepped in, the society came together, and everyone was together. And as a nation, they supported each other and see through the lockdown. I think the third thing was the emergence of e-commerce, the emergence of new businesses in Pakistan. There was a new wave of entrepreneurship that never existed on the mainstream. It may be working in a different medium or a different platform, but through COVID, it came out and reached the public in a way that never reached it before. And the people, the way they adopted the e-commerce was amazing. I think if COVID never happened, adoption of e-commerce in Pakistan would take another 10 years, in my view, but it take a couple of weeks only. People started to set up their businesses, online deliveries. It's been phenomenal in terms of that growth. So I think that was the biggest opportunity that came through because of COVID. And I think the fourth point, as Sadia mentioned, at the end of the day, we are just humans. Whether we live in UK or whether we live in Pakistan, we would go out for shopping. We would crave for each other company. We would like to stay outdoors. We would like to have in-person interaction with each other, with friends, with family. And I think that is the biggest thing that we realize, that what was a blessing that we had, and Allah has just created this thing which has forced us to stay indoors, stay away from the in-person interaction. And I think that has been phenomenal in terms of understanding that what blessing Allah has taken away from us. What do you think?
Yes, subhanallah. The first time when the COVID attacked Pakistan, it was of course it was after many countries, after many countries, COVID attacked Pakistan, and it was so different to see. Subhanallah, the people were locked up in the house. It was so difficult for everybody, and if anybody would hear the news that somebody has COVID, if the police would stand in front of their house, the house would be all. What do you say that? The house would what would they do?
Locked up, and they would just put posters outside the gate that this house is affected by COVID, so everyone can see and stay away from them. And and it created another scare in terms of the people, that if we got affected by COVID, we will be treated as outcasts in the society.
Yes, but now the fear, of course, people are getting COVID, but the fear has dropped a lot to a significant amount. And that was, subhanAllah, really very amazing to experience. When my parents-in-law and when my mother got COVID, so we went to see them. And if it would be in first wave, I think we would be very scared to do that. But this is what I was trying to tell you, that the third wave, although we are more aware of COVID and we are taking a lot of care, but we are less scared of the disease. Alhamdulillah. So we went to see our parents, and we went to say hi. And I think this is the cure for this disease, where we should ask the person to stay away from the general public, but at the same time we should be very helpful towards the patient, and we should ask him to come outside for a walk, or we should keep checking on the people. We should never ever leave them alone at this difficult time, because when I had COVID, I would love to share my story in the next program, because we are going towards the end of the show. But when I had COVID, the only thing helped me was my family, and especially Atif, because Atif got affected after 2 or 3 days, and he helped me a lot. And he was there to bring me food, and after seeing him, I would feel lot energetic. And when we both got it, so there was no point to be locked up in a room, because we are parents to 4 kids. So we came downstairs and we started to see our kids more. We kept the distance, but we were watching a lot of movies with them. We were doing a lot of readings with them with the distance, of course, wearing a lot of masks all the time, keeping things clean and spraying the disinfectants a lot. So, Alhamdulillah, we got better. But the family support and friend support is really very important and essential during COVID time. So just remember, if you see anybody suffering or battling with COVID, please do not leave that person alone. Just keep checking on them. Maybe they won't be able to attend the call because we feel a lot of weakness at that time. Maybe they won't reply you back because they are unable to reply you back. But just go check on them. Just let them hear your voice. Just let them know that you are there outside the door. Just let them know that you have cooked the hot meal for them. Just let them know that they are being cared. So these are the very important things. And I would love to say salam to Russian Auntie. Thank you so much for joining us in, Russian Auntie. Inshallah, we are towards the end of the show. I will take you in. I will request you to join us in our next show. And inshallah, see you guys next week. Our show is on
It's on every Thursday, 7 to 8 p.m. During the iftar time. I think in the next show, we will talk a bit more about our personal experience of going through the COVID, and also about the well-being, the mental well-being in this situation. And I think we will talk a bit more about Pakistan as well. If you have any suggestions or if you have anything that you would like us to cover, it's an interactive show. We can see your comments online. We will try to respond to them as well. I don't know why the call didn't work, but I think we've been told that we can take calls as well. Anyway, it has been a pleasure to be online in Milton Keynes through Lahore. It has been a wonderful 1 hour, and assalamu alaikum from my side, and I hand over to Sadia before we end the show.
So a big shout out to all the patients who are fighting with COVID, that we all are here for you and we all love you. Please do not stop taking care of yourself, and please do not lose the hope, because we all love you. It's only the precaution we are taking care. If you don't see our faces or if you don't hear from us, it's just because life is getting us. Everybody is so busy in their lives, not because they don't care for you. We all care for you, but it's just that kids are at home and we are so busy in our house. It's a new life for everybody. So we love you so much and we care for you. Just don't lose the hope and take care of yourself and get better soon. In the next show, we will talk more about Lahore and how the pandemic has affected Lahore and how we have underwent or undergone the situation. So salam alaikum, and I hope we all see you guys next week. Ramadan Kareem, Allah Hafiz.
The vibrant city of Lahore comes to Milton Keynes. Let's talk about the Lahori vibes, Corona lockdown, and Ramadan in Lahore with Atif and Sadia.
Please join our live show every Thursday, 7 to 8 p.m. on Ramadan FM Milton Keynes. You can also join our live stream on Facebook and YouTube. Parenting in Islam is about raising awareness of both deen and dunya. It's about understanding the ibadah, adab, and ikhlaqiyat. Join me, Sadia, every Sunday, 10 to 11 a.m. and let's share each other's experiences of parenting.
Prophet Stories. Let's come together and learn from the lives of prophets. Join us every Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 noon. Let's refresh our memories and rekindle our love for the prophets.
My beloved brothers and sisters, if I were to tell you that I'm going to show you something that is better than the whole world and whatever it contains, what do you think it would be?